Right, Chelsea are back up to 4th in the Premier League table. Automatic qualification for Champions League football is back within our hands after Enzo Maresca inspired this Chelsea side to a second win this season over his former club, Leicester City. And if you are watching this post-match review right now, after being with me for the entire 2.5 odd hour live stream, big up yourself. If you're not, don't worry, the next live stream is going to be on Thursday night for the home match against Copenhagen. But as for today's match, we're going to break it down. We're going to speak about all of the talking points, whether or not the scoreline of 1-0 actually flatters Leicester City, and where do we go from here? Obviously, Robert Sanchez started today. There were a few players coming back from injury. Caicedo managed to avoid getting the yellow card, which means he won't be suspended for the Arsenal match. Thank God. I am very, very happy after watching that one. So, let's speak about the game itself. But people, before we get into all that, welcome back to the Joey Knight podcast. If you are new around here, please hit the subscribe button right now. If you are happy that Chelsea are back into the top 4, smash the like button right now and let me know your thoughts on the game down in the comment section below. But first off, I want to start with the team sheet that we saw. And as you can see on screen now, the biggest talking point was Robert Sanchez coming in for Philip Jorgensen. Obviously, Robert Sanchez played through the week against Copenhagen. He played all right. He was decent enough. Copenhagen probably, in fact, definitely, I would say, a better side than this Leicester City side, and he fared quite well in that game, although he didn't manage to keep a clean sheet, which was what he did manage to keep today. Now, it obviously reads out as a back four. I always bang on about this with the graphics for you lot. It's not a back four. It just reads out that way. Cucurella's way further up the pitch, and we saw so from the goal that he scored today. Sorry, did I say goal? I meant absolute fucking screamer. Either way, Wesley Fofana, Tosin Adarabioyo and Levi Colwill made up that flat back three with Marc Cucurella, obviously the left back, and you can't sometimes kind of say it's inverting, but he's not inverting. He's either playing as a number 10, he's playing as a left winger, you know, Jadon Sancho cutting inside and Cucurella's on the outside. I don't know, but whatever it was, in Kunku I should say, who was on that left-hand side, whatever it was, I liked it. We have Moises Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez in the middle, Jadon Sancho on the right wing, Cole Palmer through the middle, and then Christopher Nkunku on the left wing with Pedro Neto starting up top as the false 9. And the first bit of drama came very, very early on in this match for me. This was a game where we had 4 penalty appeals, right? One of which was given, 2 of which shouldn't have been given, 1 of which I'm not sure on, and I will let you lot make your minds up in the comment section below. But the first came literally a couple of minutes into the game where Cole Palmer is brought down. The man doesn't get the ball, he gets all of Cole Palmer, and for some reason the penalty is not given. However, the second one is given, and it is unlucky number 13 for Cole Palmer because he sees on the 22nd minute his penalty saved. And I've got to speak on this, right? Because there were so many people in my live stream saying, mate, what has happened with Cole Palmer, the fall off and whatnot? Listen, he missed a penalty today, but I don't really want to term the phrase missed. I would more say that the Leicester keeper saved the penalty. I thought it was a good save from the penalty, and even with getting a hand to it, it still only just tipped round the post and nearly went in. I thought the Leicester City goalkeeper was great today, by the way, and I didn't think it was a bad penalty from Cole Palmer. Could it have been better? Yes, because, you know, look at Cole Palmer's penalty so far. But, you know, it's not like he tried to Panenka it down the middle or something like that and missed it. He just didn't manage to get it into the goal, you know what I mean? And it happens, and it's unlucky number 13. I know about that all too well. I had 12 wins in a row in my boxing career and lost my 13th fight. Cole Palmer's missed his 13th penalty for Chelsea Football Club. He'll probably go on to score the next 13. We have got another one in the match. That would have been the man that I would have wanted stepping up, taking that penalty. But either way, after that, I'm sort of looking at it, and at the end of the first half, I'm thinking, right, we have created quite a lot here, but we've not got a marksman, we've not got a number 9 in the box, a typical number 9 that will be able to sort of get on the end of things, even like Nicholas Jackson does, be able to bring things down and then feed the attacking players around him, and therefore a lot of the chances we were creating were being created, but weren't really being created with anyone there to be able to do anything in terms of finishing those chances. So not too much, not too much clear cut for us in that first half, if I'm being perfectly honest. And changes weren't made immediately at halftime for Chelsea in this one. It actually took up until the 70th minute, but I did think we looked better from the second half onwards, right? And obviously it's Cucurella that puts us in front. Before that, we did have a second penalty appeal, third in total, including the one that was given. Pedro Neto darts through 2 men in the box. He's brought down, for me, Stonewall penalty. Like, people can say, oh, he was running into nowhere and whatnot. No, don't give me that. He was right. Listen, if Eden Hazard was brought down against West Ham, those who know will remember the goal, yeah? Then if he was brought down in that situation, they'd go, oh, he got around 2 men, but he was running into nowhere, but he didn't. He netted it. And Pedro Neto could well have done that. And I believe that he was brought down. I believe that should have been another penalty for Chelsea Football Club. So right now, we're talking about 3 penalties that I believe should have been given in the match. One of which was saved. Hold my hands up. Cole Palmer, he's been on a terrific run of form. I can't think of a player in Premier League football that has had a longer run of penalties scored than Ivan Toney. Ivan Toney probably has a longer run than Cole Palmer until he missed one. But either way, he's been terrific from the penalty spot, and I don't hold it against him. And he came off early today, but I actually thought that Cole Palmer had a decent match. And we'll speak about those who I thought had a very decent match. But to move on from that, Cucurella, he puts us in front on 60 minutes. Bang on the hour mark. Cucurella, I'll tell you what, right? I've seen Cucurella score a couple of headers this season. I've seen Cucurella start to be a lot more of an attacking threat, which I never really thought he was. I remember when he scored that goal for Brighton against Man United, and he literally celebrated like the cows had come home. Like nothing ever that he could have imagined had just happened when he scored a goal. And I get it, left back, you don't score that often. Ashley Cole didn't used to score many. Ben Chilwell did used to score a lot of them. Reece James, when he was bombing on from right back, used to score a lot as a fullback. But Cucurella, it was almost like he didn't expect it when he scored that goal for Brighton against Man United. But I'll tell you what, this season, he looks like fucking our best attacking threat, doesn't he? He's scoring headers, he's scoring screamers. I'd say Cucurella's goal today was just as good, maybe, as Reece James's through the week. Maybe not, because it took a slight deflection. But it was either way, it was going in. It was going in. We all know it was going in. So an assist for Enzo Fernandez, a goal for Marc Cucurella. But just quickly, there is a reason why they call this man the big dog. And it is because he is a big man. He burns a lot of energy. He works very hard. And that is why I was very concerned the other day when he told me that he was feeling a lot of fatigue. So much so that he actually ordered a testosterone test to check his testosterone levels. What made you do that, Josh?
I was feeling very, very tired, more so than I usually would do. And also, I don't know if you ever get this. I was having this problem where I was struggling to get out of bed sometimes.
I get it every single morning. Usually because I've drunk 2 bottles of vodka the night before. So how does it work, the manual test? Because you told me it was just a home kit that you use yourself, isn't it?
Yeah, so basically all you need to do is there's a link in the description of this video. And what you can do is you can order a home test kit. What it very simply is it's one of those like finger prick tests. You then get some blood out of your fingertip, put it into a vial. You literally just send that off, and then they run all of the tests for you. It couldn't be simpler.
And it was weird, right? Because you were telling me this, and I was thinking, well, I don't need this. Like, I know I've got plenty of testosterone. I'm in the boxing gym all the time and whatnot. And the stat you told me blew my mind. 90% of men with low testosterone remain undiagnosed.
Yeah, there's geezers walking around the UK, up and down the country, that have this problem that wouldn't even know about it. So yeah, it's one of those things you should get checked up for.
The thing is, when you think of a man with high testosterone, you thinking muscles, you're thinking beards, but actually testosterone has so much more to do with energy, weight management, mood, cognitive function. So that's why it's actually really important, if you do feel down, to get that home test from Manual to check your levels. You'll get your results back within a few days, and then the expert doctors employed by Manual will help tell you what your results mean and how to go from here on out. Because if something is off, then they can help you with your testosterone replacement therapy service to help get your testosterone to healthy levels. So if something's not feeling right, don't just shrug it off. Hit the link in the description below. That will take you to the Manual website where you can use the code Joey45. That will get you 45% off your testosterone home blood test. So honestly, if you are feeling a little bit under the weather and it is continuous, this could be an absolute godsend for you. Thank you very much to Manual for sponsoring another video. Let's get back into it. And then obviously we have to talk about the last penalty appeal, which was Connor Cody. Now, the appeal was for a handball. It was the right elbow. It was kind of tucked. He had his back to the ball. I've seen him given. I've seen him not given. I'm not angry that he didn't get given. There was one moment when Cucurella accidentally sort of flicked the ball up onto his arm a little bit later on in the match. If they had given that, I'd have gone fucking nuts that Chelsea hadn't got those penalties. But either way, when you look at the stats for this match, and I get that I could contradict myself ever so slightly, because what you might say to me is, look, I'm not being funny, but you know, you've said before about possession not winning games and whatnot. We have more of the possession. We had more shots off target, more shots on target. 7 shots on target, by the way, with just the 1 goal, shows just how good their goalkeeper was today. 5 off target, obviously. And yeah, I just thought we were a lot better than Leicester today. And I think that the 1-0 scoreline does massively flatter Ruud van Nistelrooy's side. I think it massively flatters them. I thought it was a dominant performance from Chelsea today. And I get that people will sit here and they'll say to me, oh, how can you say that? We should be beating these lot 4 or 5-0. Well, I'm not being funny, right? We've got a better goal difference than Manchester City at the moment. We've got a better goal difference than Nottingham Forest at the moment. And look, we're starting to hit a little bit of form, and 3 points is 3 points, regardless. So now we go into the match against Copenhagen. You saw that Romeo Lavia was on the bench, I believe, today. Was Romeo Lavia on the bench? I'm pretty sure that he was. I would expect him, now that he's named within the squad, to be able to get some sort of minutes. Yeah, Romeo Lavia was on the bench. I'd expect him to get some sort of minutes against Copenhagen. We could rest Caicedo for that one, who, by the way, was brilliant today. We'll talk about him when we get on to talking about the players. I'd expect Romeo Lavia to get some minutes in that game, because apparently he's been fit, you know, training with the first team for quite a while now. We can rotate a little bit in that game, I believe, and then all eyes on Arsenal. It is one game at a time, but then all eyes on Arsenal. Now, I want to speak about a few players that were very good today. We might touch on 1 or 2 that weren't too great. Let's start on the negative. Nkunku was poor, I thought. He was over on that left-hand side. Now, I saw him come on the left wing against Newcastle. I was in the stands in the game that we won last season in the Cup, where Trippier had a bit of a blunder towards the end, and then Petrovic was the hero on penalties. And Nkunku looked really good off that left wing. And there's not really much of an excuse for Nkunku today, because it's like, well, mate, we've played you in the 9, we've played you in the 10 at times, we've moved you out wide, and yeah. Today, he just wasn't great. But I won't be too harsh on him. It was what it was. Pedro Neto, from an attacking point of view, he had that one shot which sort of replicated the goal that he scored against Arsenal, albeit it didn't go on target this time out. But he was lively. He ran his socks off, so I'd give him good credit for that. One man that I do want to touch on is Wesley Fofana. First game back from injury, straight back into the starting lineup, and I thought for the best part of 70 odd minutes until he was subbed off, was it? 73 minutes. For the best part of 73 minutes, I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was really, really good today, Wesley Fofana. Now listen, right, you got to remember, a 1-0 scoreline is flattering, because what chances did they really have? I mean, Sanchez made a couple of saves, but he didn't make any great saves. They were saves that you would expect him to make. They were straight at him, right? They didn't create all that much. The stats will tell you they hit the woodwork, but that came off of a Chelsea back anyway. It came off Tossin's back or back of his neck or whatever. So we limited them completely. We nullified them. We kept the possession. We created way more of the opportunities. And yes, we were a little bit lackluster with our finishing, but we had enough chances there. We deserve to have 3 penalties in the game, in my opinion. You know, Enzo Fernandez with a couple of good shots, Cole Palmer, a couple of shots, but yeah, I think that's a game that on another day does end up 3-0, and then we're looking at it a lot more positively, and I think that we do need to be positive right now. I understand there's frustration, people. I get it. There's frustration over the way the club's being run, the board and whatnot. There was protests, but we need to be able to project positive vibes now into the atmosphere that the team can feed off until the end of the season. Because let's be honest, right? We haven't got the easiest of run-ins, Chelsea. In our run-in now, between now and the end of the season, we've got the likes of, in terms of hard matches, we've got the likes of Arsenal, Liverpool, Newcastle. I don't want to call Man United a hard match, if I'm being completely honest with you. I'm reluctant to do that. And it's at Stamford Bridge, and we beat them there last season. I believe we'll beat them there this season. But it is Man United at the same time. And the last day of the season is Forest. That's what it comes down to. That's a tricky one, right? Because Forest, I tell you what, look at their running. Go look at their fixtures. Forest have a pretty easy running, in my opinion. There's not many games there I see them losing, if I'm being completely honest. But, as I say, you know, we've got to turn it on. And also in that running, no game should be taken for granted. We've lost to some of these teams this season. But look, Spurs, Brentford, Ipswich, Fulham, Everton. I think we need 5 wins. I think we need 5 wins and a couple of draws to secure Champions League football. And today was a huge step towards that. Wesley Fofana, brilliant. Caicedo, brilliant, as always. Enzo, I'd give about a 7 out of 10. I thought he had some really good moments. Cole Palmer, I actually don't think was bad, but obviously missed the penalty, and that will make the headlines. They'll love to be negative around it. But, yeah, I mean, for me, I've got to give man of the match to Cucurella. I thought he was brilliant. I just think he's mustard. And now he's popping up with goals and really, really adapting to this new role. I love it. I absolutely love to see it. People, I'm going to be in the studio with the big dog, Josh Aveste, tomorrow, who was at the game today, and we will try and cover everything that I haven't in this video. I wanted to get sent out quickly for you guys to have a little watch of, and then we'll go into detail tomorrow. And get in the comment section. Let me know any questions that you want me and Josh to discuss, any talking points that you want from us tomorrow when we're in the studio together. Most of all, have a lovely end to your weekend. Chelsea are up to 4th, ladies and gentlemen. Automatic qualification for the Champions League is now in our hands. Let's just be happy for a few days at least. I will be back tomorrow on the channel with the big dog for another podcast. Make sure you tune in to Joey and Josh also, because we dropped a new true crime episode off of there today. I will see you all in the next one.